Hello, my crafty friends. It's the 2nd of the month, and that means it's time for a new sheet load of cards. Alicia from the Call Me Crafty Gal YouTube channel provides the sheet load each month to subscribers of her YouTube channel. It's no charge. She just asks that you are a subscriber. On the 1st of each month, she debuts the sheet load of cards. She shows you her finished cards. On the 2nd of the month, she does a full process video with tips and tricks, and the collaboration team all get to share what they made with that month's sheet load of cards. There's an Instagram and a YouTube collaboration team, and I'm on the YouTube collaboration team. I don't actually have a printed version this month, so I'm just showing you it here on my iPad. It's a sketch and cutting guide. And there's also information on subscribing to her channel. This month we're using 4 6x6 patterned papers, and the yield is 8 cards. There's different alternatives that she lists, and it's so much fun to see what both Alicia came up with and then what the collaboration team came up with, how they interpreted the sheet load of cards. Now this sketch, if you print it at 100%, is full size. So if you're not sure of your placement, you're not sure if your sentiment will fit, using that full size sketch is very helpful. In my title, there is a hashtag. You can click on that title and that should take you to what all of the collaborators have made. But Alicia also has a playlist, and that's going to be linked in the description box below. Clicking on that playlist will take you to what the collaborators have done as well. It'll just take her a little bit this morning. We all post at the same time, and then she has to go around and grab everyone's links and put them in the playlist. So it will be available shortly. And then if you download your own sheet load of cards and you're uploading to social media, use these 2 hashtags here, and that allows us to come and see what you've made. So looking at this sketch, I was kind of in a flare. I have rheumatoid arthritis and it's in my knees, and paper crafting really helps me with my pain control. But I was in a flare and I just was not feeling it cutting those 3 little pieces. Now, I can't wait to see what the collaboration team came up with, because it is a very cool design element, but I'm going to show you how I changed mine up so that mine is a solid panel, and only just because the way I was feeling, that was what I could manage. So that's the great thing about a sheet load, is that they're a jumping off point and you make them work for you. I'm going to put down my iPad, turn on the overhead light, and then show you my cards. So here are my sheet load cards. I did make 8 of them, and if you stay to the end of the video, I will show you a bonus card that I made using up the leftover bit. So with the sheet load sketch, you are cutting this piece into 3 panels. I just cut it into a solid panel. Everything else was the same. And here's the measurements that I used for that panel. I took my 6x6 inch sheet of patterned paper and I cut it at 4 3/4 inches. And then I just turned it and did my 2 inches and my 1 inch. So I have 2 2-inch strips, 2 1-inch strips. And that's the only change that I made. That last piece is what I saved to make the scrap card. You could also use those to decorate the insides of your cards. So I used this pattern paper here. I've used it before on my sheet loads, and I don't have that much left of it. It is the Be Brave by Pink and Maine. It has been retired, but it's great for masculine cards. I usually make birthday cards that I can donate to my mom's old nursing home. And then the stamp set again that I've just used and used. It's so old, look how yellowed it's gotten, but I use it and use it constantly. So it is the Cake and Candles by Avriel. I don't think it's available anymore either, but I actually have some new stamps from Catherine Pooler. I haven't been buying very much the past few months, but I've got some new birthday stamps from Catherine Pooler. So in the next sheet loads, providing I do birthday cards, you'll be seeing some new birthday stamps. So that's where the Make-A-Wish came from. I didn't bring it over, but this is rainbow holographic cardstock. I've been using it for a long time. What I was using is by Hunky Dory, and I had purchased it from R&R Scrapbooking out of Edmonton, Alberta. It's a Canadian shop. But we were visiting Arizona, and Amazon had some by Recollections, so you might even be able to get them at Michael's. But the price point was really good. It's not quite as reflective, but with the price point being what it was, I've been having lots of fun, and it just adds so much shine to your cards for very little effort. And actually, the strips that I used were mostly leftovers from other projects, and I just trimmed those down. So I have my cards here now. A couple of them I did change them around. So rather than having the larger piece at the top and the smaller piece at the bottom, I just swatched those around. It was personal preference, so it just kind of made them a little bit different, and the insides are all done the same. Happy birthday to you. I wasn't using kind of a heavy-duty cardstock, so I like to add a die-cut panel inside to just make them a little bit sturdier. I also don't usually do top folding cards because I don't like the way they collapse, and if I'm making them for nursing home residents, I really don't want them sliding, and if they've got them on, say, their nightstand and they collapse, they could be knocking off things off of their nightstand. So it is like a top folding card, but I turned it sideways, so it's a wide A2. My cardstock is the 11 inches, cut at 4 1/4, and then scored in the center at 5 1/2. So they stand great for display. They're not going to collapse and knock anything over. So I've got 8 cards that I can donate to my mom's old nursing home. I'm happy about that. And then let me show you the bonus card. So this makes 9 cards for the nursing home, and it's just a regular A2 card. And I used the 3 pattern strips, but of course you used 4 pieces of paper, so there was a 4th strip left over. Matted it to the navy cardstock. Now that was something else. I had partial sheets of cardstock. The yellow was a 12 by 12, not a full sheet of it, so I did as many of the matting layers as I could out of the yellow. And then I had enough of this navy left over to make 2, so 2 mats in the navy. And this one, I didn't want to cut into another sheet just for a single mat, so it's another pattern paper in the stash. It's enough of a print that I figure it reads as a solid. So that's how I got those backgrounds. And then I had some narrow strips of the navy cardstock left, and I just mounted one of the leftover strips onto that and then trimmed it to fit. These 2 pieces were the ends, and they were sitting on my table. As I gathered them up to put in recycling, I went, wait a minute, and just kind of tucked them in underneath, and I liked the way that looked, so it was a very unintentional kind of embellishment. So that is my extra card, and I ended up with no scraps left over. If you enjoyed my video today, give it a thumbs up. I'd love you to subscribe to see more, and that's it for me today.